these are little old white-haired ladies sitting down the back crying. And yes, this baby was in my bed. Right, so we had this thing about little old ladies coming forward, but we also had this other thing about bed sharing, where people were saying you can't go around and say don't bed share. This is what we do. This is how we live. This is important to us. And so whilst we pushed on at that time with spreading the word about the other risk factors, we didn't really support the idea about don't bed share. And there was the first, Mickey, probably the first 6, 7, 8 years of the Māori SIDS team, we fought against the idea that don't bed share should be a blanket message. And we worked with people like Ed and people like Robert Scragg, and we were trying to say to them, we were saying to them consistently, it's not about bed sharing, it can't be bed sharing, people all around the world bed share, what's going on here? And so Robert Scragg eventually went back to his figures, all this case control stuff we're talking about, and he found the answer. And the answer was that if you smoked in pregnancy, then bed sharing was dangerous. If you didn't smoke in pregnancy, it didn't seem to increase your risk of death. And so we were kind of able to say, yes, we were right, it's not bed sharing. It's bed sharing if you smoked in pregnancy. It's the two of them together. And so then we began to work with that idea. And what was happening is we were happily working along that idea, thinking that we'd won a battle, and we were watching the Māori SIDS figures now coming down, and they were. But in 2003, they started to flatten out. And we thought, oh, 2004, oh, they're still not coming down. 2005, they're not coming down. What's going on here? It's all over. And our death rates at that time were still 5 or 6 times the non-Māori, non-Pacific death rates. They were still 5 or 6 times, and they were now flatlining. So that was the time when some of us got together and said, well, we need a different strategy. And what this is about is we need to say to ourselves, this is all about bed sharing if you smoked in pregnancy. So what are we going to do? Are we going to go out there and tie people down and get rid of their cigarettes as soon as they're pregnant? Well, hello, you can't do that. So therefore, we've got to do something about bed sharing. So are we going to go out there and tell those women they can't bed share? No, what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out a way to make bed sharing safe. So that's what this is all about. So making bed sharing safe was the idea, because everybody knew about safety rules. There were safety rules for cots, there were safety rules that were being talked about in the international literature, and the safety rules were don't let babies fall into the mattress because they'll suffocate, or they'll breathe in their own air and they'll turn off their responses in their head. So, you know, when babies are under stress and their breathing is threatened, healthy babies, they just breathe through it. And even if you manage to cover them up with a blanket and stick a pillow on them and all that, they just breathe through it. But babies whose mothers smoked in pregnancies have a very weak breathing drive. So you stress those babies out and they have a lot of trouble. And they die far more frequently than the other babies. So we came up with this thing. So we came up with this as an idea.